Hello all, welcome to another episode of the podcast Inspaire with Pratik Pai. In today's insightful discussion, we are diving into the dynamic world of imports and exports of businesses of India. Our special guest, Akash Bhangre, a second-generation entrepreneur, works with AV International, brings a wealth of knowledge and experience to the import-export businesses of the India. We will explore intricacies of the international trade, uncovering strategies, lot of opportunities, and real-world stories that shape up this fascinating industry. So let's gain a very fresh perspective on global commerce and get ready to be inspired by our engaging conversation. Also, in this meaningful discussion, we'll be sharing a lot of opportunities where young entrepreneurs and young manufacturers or any new manufacturer can gain insight how to explore this beautiful business. So let's jump right in. I would like to start this discussion basis. I just would like to know what is your background, why did you enter this industry, and if I understand correctly, you are the second generation in this business, right?
Yes.
So when you started, like you said, you did your engineering, post that you did your MBA,
Yes.
and you were working in a company business consulting agency. So when there was a shift in the business, you wanted to join the family business. What was it like? Did your father ask you to do internship in the company like any other fresher, or did he? What was it like when you started with your family business? Because there are a lot of family business around, traditional businesses where the second generation comes in the business, but the equation changed when a relative or somebody of your own enters the business. So what was it like? How did your
Yes.
father try to motivate you or encourage you to get into the
You
business?
are absolutely right there. So, as I said, when I completed my engineering, I did not want to take up any engineering job because I was very bad at it. It did not suit me.
Okay.
So after that only I started going to office just to learn about what my father is doing or what my business is about, because I did not have any idea about that because I was very focused on engineering. After doing my education, I thought that no, this thing would be better because my father also needed some help by then. And that's when I started doing internships with my father in my company. And throughout my MBA, I was going, whenever I used to get time, I used to visit my office, I used to sit there, I used to learn what people are doing there. And how can I make this company better? How can I get more clients? Because I have started doing MBA marketing. So obviously my job was going to do, I was going to do business development only in this company.
Okay.
So I started studying my company. And that's when I realized that what skills I should build on.
True.
Client servicing skill is one set that I wanted more experience in. That's why I took a job.
Okay.
After MBA, I was lucky enough to get a job in that company.
Similar industry you
And
wanted.
after that, it happened as per the plan only for me. That was always the plan. After my engineering, I had a plan of joining my family business, and that's what happened.
So how long have you been working in your family business now?
So I joined my company since 2017.
Oh.
I left. I did my MBA in 2015, and 2 years I worked in a consulting firm.
You started in your family business in 2017. It's like strong 6 years now.
Yes.
You have seen lot of changes, lot of trend shift, lot of ups and downs. We faced COVID, lot of global recession. Still now there is a move that I think we are going towards that, right? So what kind of sectoral changes have you seen in the market in this last 6 years, and what do you think is the import-export future for India? Because I believe still we are in trade deficit. It's more than $20 billion that we are still
Yes.
in trade deficit. How do you think India can overcome that, and what
So-
all changes have you seen?
Yes. So since when I joined 2017, I have seen a tremendous increase in exports.
Okay.
Which is why I made a decision actually to get into this business, and I can see the future is still very positive. So as per the numbers are concerned, I think I would not be very accurate, but I think this year in the last financial year, India completed around $800 billion of export, and I think before that it was around $700 billion, and it is only going to increase and reach around $2 trillion as per the Ministry of Commerce in the year 2030.
Wow.
So I think there is tremendous potential that I can see in exports, and which is why I think more and more exporters should come there, because this market is going to grow in the future and there is still a lot of potential here.
Okay. So, like you said, there is a lot of potential. That means there are a lot of challenges that Indian companies or the marketers or whoever are the importer exporters are facing in the Indian landscape when it comes to import and exports? What do you think?
there are
Yeah.
challenge.
So what exactly do you think are these basic challenges or the challenges that are faced by a common lot of masses? So maybe we can touch point on that, because there are a lot of viewers of ours who would like to enter this industry, would like to get into trading business, right? So for them it would be like an hindsight wherein they would understand these are the basic issues which we can overcome on the initial phase.
There are, so talking about the challenges, I see that whenever there is a challenge, there is a new opportunity which comes up.
True.
And yes, there are many challenges in exports, as it stands true for any other business. There are challenges in exports as well. And talking of the challenges here first, I would say that the biggest challenges, because I see only two big challenges that, in generic terms, there are many challenges which are there, which every other exporter faces, which are industry specific. A pharmaceutical client would have some other challenges for registration and certification that we spoke about before.
Right, right.
Similarly, there will be some other challenges for an agricultural exporter. There will be some other challenge for a rubber exporter or a paper exporter.
So it's like domain to domain, the challenges do
The
differ.
challenges differ.
Okay.
But there are domain to domain benefits as well.
True.
So a pharmaceutical company will have high margins. So obviously, if they are successful in exporting the product, they'll be awarded with a high margin.
Higher margins.
Similarly, for an agricultural product, the margins will be lesser, but they'll get bigger volumes. So similarly, there are many other challenges, but I feel the two major challenges facing the export industry is the distance. Firstly, because we are in India and the buyer would be anywhere located outside of India, he will not be in the territorial waters of India. There will be many risks which are involved in exports. The first risk will be the credibility risk. So you will not be able to, if you, for example, if you convert a client and the client is agreeing to buying from you, you will not be able to identify what is his credit worthiness, or maybe how trustworthy he is, or what is his reputation in the foreign market. That is a difficult thing to gauge. One wrong decision, or if you have a false exporter with you, he can give you, it can result in non-payment, or whether a delayed payment, or whether a straightforward fraud.
True.
So you have to be very alert in terms of which client are you dealing with. So you have to do such background checks. Our company can help you with that.
Okay.
So this is the background check thing that you should have a very thorough knowledge about.
Okay.
Second risk which is involved because of the distance is the logistics risk. Your products are going to go through the seaway route. It takes around a month for a product to travel to any country which is in Europe.
Okay.
So in that 1 month, dynamics can change, or your products are also when they are on the way to Europe, there can be damages, or there can be some theft, or the products may not reach at all at the destination.
Okay.
So this is another risk which is there because of the distance.
Okay. Sure.
So another thing which I think is a threat is awareness. Lack of awareness is one of the major threats which is facing the export industry. Exporter does not have any a good knowledge about the foreign trade policies in India, which is why he misses out on a lot of financial benefits that he can get, which may make him, I would not say losses, which he
like
can
opportunity
get
loss.
Opportunity loss when it comes to his financial situation.
Okay.
Another thing is the fluctuation in the exchange rate. This is again a risk.
Okay.
So if he is not managing his exchange rate properly, or if he does not have the knowledge about that, then that can also create some hurdles for him. The thing is the international laws. Since we are not doing business on the Indian soil,
right,
Indian laws do not apply to export transactions.
Okay.
There are international laws for this, and international laws constantly change.
Mm-hmm.
So having a contract made, restoring the interest of an exporter is very important here. So the consultants like us or legal firms can make you contracts which, considering the interest of the exporter, these contracts you can give it to your buyer. And you can expect that you are safe.
So you're basically having a contract for international laws will safeguard their interests, I mean your client's interest, because like you said, there might be disparity in terms of change in law after the contract has been made.
Yes, yeah, correct.
True. So great points. I mean these are actually some of the challenges that many of us face when it comes to exports, right?
These are generic challenges which any
industry would face. But when it comes to domain specific industries, like you said, there are challenges, but again there are opportunities, and where you guys come and put in your efforts and make it, easy for the client, so that they don't have to go through all the challenges that normally
Yes.
any industry would face. Just for my clarity, I would like to understand, when it comes to global powers like US, China, or maybe other countries, Japan, for example. So where does India stand in when it comes to exporting goods? Because India has lot of things to export.
Yes.
Still we are trailing when it comes to trade deficit. We are still not done that. Obviously we are good in spices. Like, for my limited knowledge, we are good in spices. We do export machineries, we do export parts and industrial spare parts and all those stuff, right? But still India is a major economy. Being the kind of populations as we do have, and compared to other countries, do you think we are more of a consumer country than a trade, export oriented? And if it all is not, then what do you think would change that factor, that India would start exporting more, so that we can bring in more economic revenue to the country? So what do you think, where we stand?
Yes, I would say that currently your research is right, that currently India is in trade deficit. India is importing more, but there is a lot of potential for exports, and the exports are increasing, and hopefully I think as we proceed in the future, I think exports will conquer imports, like China.
Right. So
And India will start, because there is an industry which is coming up very fast and growing very fast, which is electronics, hardware and electrical products.
okay.
Since I think in 2014 we had literally zero valued exports of mobile phones. And currently, as you can see the numbers, I think I might be wrong in this, but we have crossed around $10 billion of mobile phone exports in the last year.
So which all manufacturers do?
Manufacturers, I think
Samsung,
India is giving Samsung, maybe Apple. There are many other products. There are many other products which are manufactured in India. Mobile phones. I think Foxconn,
Right.
Wistron, Pegatron, other companies which are manufacturing electronics and electrical hardware in India, and they are exporting like torches. Not torches actually. Sorry, it's called the power banks.
Right.
Wearables, headphones, smartwatches, mobile phones for that matter.
Right.
All are now manufactured in India. And semiconductors consider semiconductors as well. They are being manufactured in India and they are being exported now.
Right.
So I can see only positive in the future for this industry.
So,
I think the fastest growing industry right now is electronics and hardware.
Okay.
But it's not. It has a lot of barriers for entry for a common person like you and me.
Right.
Cannot enter directly the electronics territory yet.
So,
But
yeah, like you said, so if there are barriers, then what other than hardware, electronics and electrical items, like you said, is there any untapped market that you foresee could grow in India? Because
the agricultural, 70% of our population of India, as you already know, stay in the rural areas,
Right.
which practice or which earn through agriculture itself. So agriculture is always a go-to market for a common layman who wants to get into export. But instead of doing only agricultural products, if the exporter thinks about the current trends, if any innovative product, if you introduce in an export market, just as the innovative products are working in India now,
Right.
there are many market trends like vegan products or avocados or other healthy products or immunity building products. If you are thinking about that, or if you have any innovative product in mind, for example, consider haldi or consider turmeric, which is the highest exported product in spices in India.
Right.
Instead of exporting only haldi, a new person like you and me would not get enough traction because we don't have any experience.
True.
People in foreign countries would like to do business only with experienced sellers in India.
Right.
We will not have experience. So in case if you can do any innovative or any innovation in
Haldi, for example.
haldi, for example, you can sell the haldi oil, or you can sell some haldi shots. Some people like to drink haldi milk in the night.
Okay.
So if you can make a supplement for that, or I'm just thinking about, just random thoughts about that.
Okay.
But if you introduce such things in the market, then maybe you'll get more traction.
True.
So I would say agricultural products, food products are obviously a go-to market for us. But if we think from an innovative perspective, give an innovative perspective to those products or a touch of technology to those products, even a common or a new exporter like you and me can benefit a lot in this market.
Okay.
That's what the trends tell me.
Okay. Nice. Like great point that innovation can add value to the already existing products and
Yes.
create some differentiation between already best selling product, and there is something like, obviously great marketers, that is what they do, they bring something out new in the already set product, so that there is a variety, the customer likes to have that variety
Yes.
and to the portfolio. And obviously when it comes to acquiring new markets, a new product will bring in a newer market. So great point on that. I mean, like you were just mentioning that is how you assess trends. So how do you actually assess trends, or what kind of insights do you look at, or what kind of numbers do you look at, so that you understand where the trend shift is happening, or is there any emergence of a new sector for the import and exports business?
See, since we are a 30-year-old company, we have a clientele of more than 500 clients. So for a company like me, I have to be connected with such industrial trends to be in the business, and to have to possess the knowledge about all the know-hows of the industry. So I am constantly in touch with these clients, and from them I know how to be in touch with these trends. I continuously go through the documents. The documents come in and out our company premises. So obviously I have to be connected, and I know such things. But for a layman, like a person who wants to export, he should follow certain handles in Twitter, some government policies. For example, if you are going to export, the primary government agency which is going to give you benefits is DGFT. So the first thing that you can do is follow DGFT. DGFT is a government agency that gives you knowledge about the current foreign trade policies or any changes in the foreign trade policy. The first-hand information you get from DGFT only. In case if the government prohibits any product for export, for example, broken rice is now prohibited.
Okay.
So DGFT will give you first-hand information about that. So you will be the first to know. So you have to follow the Twitter handle of DGFT, or follow news or something like that. And in case if you are very focused on exporting only agricultural product, then you should be a member of the current Export Promotional Council for Agriculture, that is APEDA.
Okay.
If you follow that Agricultural Export Promotional Council on Twitter, or maybe visit the website of APEDA regularly, you will come to know a lot of things which your competitors would not, because they are already in export business, they don't follow that.
True.
So you will get an edge over them.
Okay.
So for knowing certain trends, you should be following your industry specific accounts in Twitter or social media, or maybe follow the news, or maybe become a member of any export promotional council which is relevant to your business.
Okay.
That's what I feel.
Great. So if at all they're not doing that, then they can obviously come to you.
Of course,
and,
yeah, of course.
And
We are always
be
there.
the guiding partner, or the
Yes.
this consultancy where you provide up-to-date information
Yes.
to everything.
Yes.
Great on that.
We have a website, and we also have a YouTube channel now.
Okay.
And wherein we give informative sessions and information about the latest government policies, about all the relevant industries. So we have done a video about pharmaceutical and chemical products in the latest foreign trade policy, which gives what is the benefit, how can the pharmaceutical and chemical product exporters benefit from the new foreign trade policies. The video that we did as an initial part of the launch of our YouTube channel.
Okay.
And that video gained considerable amount of traction.
Nice.
So this is the kind of information that we are planning to put
Provide
out
to
on
the
our
clients.
YouTube channel as well.
Okay.
So yes.
Great. You mentioned that you obviously follow trends because you have a lot of clients, and that is how you drive your insights. Also,
Yes.
you mentioned about social media handles from government and Ministry of Exports and all those, wherein you can get the information. So coming to that, I mean, what all schemes and incentives has our government provided to Indian manufacturers or Indian exporters, so that they can get benefit, and what all benefits are actively happening right now in the Indian import-export business?
So there are many schemes and many incentives that the government offer when it comes to exporters. I would go one by one here. The first incentive which is available, which is given as an incentive to you as a reward for running foreign exchange, is RODTEP. That is remission of duties and taxes for export of product. The scheme works this way. So if you export any product which is worth of FOB value of 1 crore, so you will get some X% of incentive as a reward for exporting and earning foreign exchange for the government.
Okay.
The foreign exchange that you earn, you don't get the foreign exchange directly in your account. All you get is the INR value. The foreign exchange is kept with the RBI,
Okay.
and they use the foreign exchange to buying defense products or oil and other products which are required by them. For doing this, just for earning foreign exchange, you get certain benefits. Protcap is one of the It's also called in short terms, in acronym, we call it RODTEP, RODTEP, Remission of Duties on Export of Goods, on export of products.
Okay.
So this is one of the schemes which is available. Another is ROSCTL, which is available only for textile exporters on the similar lines. Then there is Advanced Authorization, which is again, I would not call it an incentive scheme, but it is one of the benefits. It is not a reward for earning foreign exchange. It is not an extra something that you get. It's not. It's a benefit that has been launched by the government. Through Advanced Authorization, you can import raw materials paying zero duty, that is duty free.
Okay. Wow.
Yes, but the products that are made out of that raw material, the finished goods, should only be exported. That is the condition.
Acha.
You cannot sell it domestically.
You cannot consume it within India.
Yes, yeah. So Advanced Authorization is one of the benefits. Then there is EPCG, that is Export Promotion of Capital Goods. It is again a scheme through which you can import machineries duty free. But the only condition here is whatever the duty saved value is, 6 times the value you should export in the 6 years.
Okay.
If you saved around 1 lakh rupees in the duty, then you have to export 6 lakh worth of products in the 6 years.
Okay.
This is the condition for EPCG. And there are many others. I have given you the major incentive schemes. And there is programs like AEO program, that is Authorized Economic Operator program. If you become an Authorized Economic Operator program, you will be given many benefits for import. You don't have to, there will be lesser wait times, there will be more facilitation, there will be relationship managers given to you by the government. These are certain benefits of the AEO, which is very beneficial. The bank guarantees. So when you are importing any product duty free, you have to give a bank guarantee. You have to submit a bank guarantee to the government.
Right.
That bank guarantee would be waived off under the AEO scheme.
Achha.
And there is Star Export House scheme. Just as we rate Zomato guy or an Uber guy 5-star or 4-star, the government also has a mechanism of rating exporters.
Okay.
So if you sign up for a Star Export House certificate scheme, then there are certain level of benefits will be given to you. Facilitation, some priority treatment will be given to you.
Nice.
Preferential treatment will be given to you. There are certain such benefits are available for
so
exporters and
these are all with my limited knowledge, these are the kind of benefits that an experienced trader or a manufacturer would actively take once he is into import-export business, primarily. So recently I saw this. I'm talking from a perspective of a very new entry-level manufacturer or somebody who is getting into the trading business or into the import-exports. So recently read somewhere like a government has started a new scheme wherein if you are planning to visit any other country for exhibitions or for displaying your products or anything, your services or anything, then they can actually reimburse your airfare or whatever is the traveling as a allowance, as a subsidy for encouraging exports outside India, right? So is that true? Does it hold any value?
Yes.
Given that post, which I would like to understand, what all things do you think an entry-level manufacturer or very newcomer should do or should start when it comes to getting into the business of exports?
So first I'll take up the scheme that you spoke about. That's called a Market Access Initiative scheme. So the application has to be done through the export commercial councils that I spoke about before. Yes, for agricultural products there is APEDA, for pharmaceutical products there is Pharmexil, for chemical products there is Chemexil.
Right.
There are many there is an export commercial council for services called SEPC. There is an export commercial council for handicraft products. For rubber there is one. For paper products there is one export commercial council. So whatever expenses as a newcomer you are making in the foreign market, be it registration or be it some marketing expense or be it buying a cubicle or buying a exhibition space there, government gives you a reimbursement of that. If you are eligible for that, if you are an MSME company or if there are certain eligibility criteria for all the categories of exporters. For pharmaceutical there will be some other eligibility criteria, for chemical there will be some other eligibility criteria. And yes, for new exporters or as a support of giving giving support to them, government has launched this scheme and the applications has to be made through respective export commercial councils. So when I said that all the new coming exporters should follow or should become a member of EPC, that is why.
Okay. So that is how you gain insights or get access to all these things, because that is like a primary council for exporters. I mean, that association where all like-minded people can discuss their issues. If there are any problems, then it can be weared off.
I'll tell you how exactly export commercial councils help you. Firstly, if a buyer defaults or if a buyer from a foreign country does not pay you, or maybe he's a fraud, then you can go to the Export Promotional Council, they can blacklist the buyer completely. So you will not be able to do business with India anymore. That is one of the benefits that Export Promotional Council can help you with.
Okay.
Then in case if there is any marketing activity happening in any other country, Export Promotional Council will give you the first hand information about that. If there is a conference or if there is any seminar or if there is any exhibition happening there, Export Promotional Council will give you the first hand information. Then trade updates is another thing.
Yeah.
Any specific trade update related to that Export Promotional Council. APEDA for agriculture. If there is any agricultural update, APEDA will be the first person or first agency to tell you about that. Then there is MAI scheme. The MAI scheme, that is Market Access Initiative scheme, that gives reimbursement for product registration or any other expenses that you do in the foreign market.
True.
Which is why EPC, I think, is very important for a newcoming exporter to be a member of.
So I asked you like what all things should an entry level manufacturer should do when he wants to get into this industry.
Yes,
so one thing which you said is get registered into a Export Promotion Council. But other than what all things should he take in mind when it comes to even legal aspects, or how to start a company, or what all things does it take to become a manufacturer into exporting or for as a trader?
Okay, the first, these are very basic things. I think it applies to the companies who are doing business in India as well.
Right.
First, what you have to do is open a bank account. First, you have to make a company, build a constitution, whether it's a private limited company or a proprietorship or a LLP or a partnership, whatever it is. You have to first establish a company, then open a current account, then get a PAN card. Then for export import, specifically you have to get IEC code, that is Importer Exporter Code.
Right.
That is the one thing that you should
mandatory. It's mandatory for anybody who wants to get into this.
Yes, that is the mandatory document. Then you should be a member of any EPC.
Right.
As we just discussed about, any EPC which is relevant to your product. Then the these are the basic documents that are required for starting your exports. Then other documents, your buyer will tell you that I want a health. If you are exporting an agricultural product, then the buyer will tell you that I need a health certificate of this. I need a FSI license registration only, then I'll buy it from you. Yes, FSI actually is a mandate. If you are exporting a food product, then FSI registration, FSSAI, that is the food safety standards, you have to take that.
Right.
So specifically, if you are exporting any drug, then you have to take FDA registration. So these are mandatory for industry specific things, documents. If you want to be an exporter in food, you have to take FSI and other RCMC of EPC and IEC and other documents that I spoke about.
Right.
So these are the documents that you should have, and after that you should just find buyers, tap the markets, tap the right markets, do your market study, find good buyers which are trustworthy, and then conduct your export business. And after that, after conducting export business, you should also not forget to take the benefits that you are eligible for from the government.
Like we were discussing this earlier, right? So getting into manufacturing is one thing, right?
Yes.
But when it comes to procurement or generating orders or the marketing aspect of it, so how does an individual, or do you think is AV International responsible for getting that as well, or do you have some other expertise or some other consultants who does this kind of work when it comes to generating orders or marketing aspect of it?
Okay, I get a lot of calls from since my business is into export and import consulting. A lot of clients mistake me as a consultant for increasing their sales.
True.
But I would not be that person who can increase your sales. I think you yourself or a business is responsible for getting sales.
Okay.
If I had so many clients with me, from any foreign clients with me, then I would be an exporter. I would buy from you and export. I would not let you be an exporter.
True.
So for doing marketing of your own, you should have your own team, and you should start directly from the basic. So we can only guide you about the government policies and any other incentives which are available to you. But sales is something that a company should have in-house team of.
True.
They should first go to the Export Promotional Council. They will help you out with the names of the buyers who are actually looking for buying that product, or maybe visit the Chamber of Commerce where you can get the list of buyers, genuine buyers who are buying from India.
Okay.
And then send out your emailers, send out your marketing material, your brochures, your websites to them. And eventually then you will convert a sale, or they will contact you back. That's an opportunity for you.
Other than that, I believe, there are a lot of trade fairs that happen across the world. I guess that is one major event.
That comes with a cost.
Right.
If you want to do something on a lesser cost basis, then you can practice this. In case if you have certain budget, you can also, this is a better option.
But
you can visit the trade fairs.
like you mentioned, and we were discussing this earlier, that government does provide you subsidies when it comes to reimbursements of trade fair costs
Yes.
or traveling cost, or even if you're setting up stalls. We discussed that, right? So what kind of, I mean, how does that have work? I mean, if you're spending certain amount, how much does government contribute to getting it reimbursed?
So firstly, you have to be a member of EPC,
True.
and then when you go there for participating in an exhibition, that cost will be given back to you. Around the 70% of that expense that you do outside, when it comes to exhibition, or maybe also the travel, flight, or maybe also even the stay there, that will be refunded or that will be reimbursed to you.
Okay.
Only a certain amount of that, not 100% as per my knowledge. I think it will be around 70% based on the eligibility criteria and based on where your industry is categorized into. If it is MSME, they will get more benefit. If you are not an MSME, then comparatively lesser.
Right.
It depends on industry to industry.
Okay, great. Also, I mean, one would like to ask is that now that you mentioned and we discussed that you have worked for almost 6 years now, right?
Yeah.
And you are responsible for business development for your company, as well as handling client side engagements or managing their work. So what factors do you think are important being into client facing business? Also, any experiences, personal experience of yours wherein because of you the business has evolved, or you're brought in more business, because even that kind of skill set is needed, like you need that kind of skill set to build business. So yeah, maybe you can discuss on that as well.
So what I have learned about client servicing is, I would summarize it only in 3 points. Firstly, be very transparent about your work. In case if client finds out that there is something that you're not telling me, he might not trust you. So getting the client to trust you is very important when it comes to giving a service, because I'm not selling any product which the client can touch and feel.
True.
It's a service, so you have to be very transparent with him so that he trusts you. Second point is that I feel is deliver it as promised. Deliver up to your expectations and do a little bit more. Go a little bit beyond your expectations so that he comes back to you. He becomes a very loyal client to you.
Okay.
That is the second thing that I think is very important.
Okay. Great. And do you have any experience to share wherein you have helped a client grow his business, or how did that happen for you?
Yes, yeah. Since I told you that we are a 30-year-old company and I have joined it, I think it's been 6 years, but I have many instances where I have many examples of this. I would not be able to give you one example. There are companies which have grew multifold. There are companies where the employees have left that company, my client, and they have opened their own company, and now they are making more than the company that used to work with. And there are many companies that we are seeing.
Okay.
Because it's an old business, so we get to see a lot of companies who have grown.
Right.
We have actually held these companies to, guide them to the export-import process, and these companies have grown multifold now.
So other than that, I mean, we discussed everything about how your work is, your business aspect of it. Would like to know more about you. So what do you like other than your work? So is there what are your hobbies? How do you manage your time? And how do you ensure that you stay healthy or your work-life balance is good? How does that work for you as an entrepreneur?
Yes, so I like to work out. I like to be fit. That is my number one hobby. Second is I like to travel. I like to go on long drives to very scenic locations. Not international, not based out of my state. Also, I enjoy going on a long drive from my house to any other neighboring city or a neighboring place where I can see a good scenery. I like that. That's the only thing which keeps me.
Okay. So it keeps you focused and ensures that
yeah,
you are there on your. So you're driven towards your work.
Yes.
So other than, I mean, as an entrepreneur, what really drives you? I mean, because it's your business. Like, you have the skin in the game. There are so many things. There are so many people who are dependent on you. So many employees whom you have to ensure that they are, because your company has to run fine. So what actually motivates you to be on the game every time, and how do you ensure that?
I think my employees is one of the things that motivates me to work. All of my employees are very old, and the knowledge that they possess, I always, they inspire me to do even more for them.
Okay.
They are very regular. They come to office, they serve clients, they have an experience. They also have an experience. Most of our clients are right from the inception, since they are there since right from the inception of our company.
Okay.
Now, obviously, there are many others who have joined now as a new being marketing staff. After I joined, I hired a marketing staff that I wanted as a support for me.
Okay.
There are many other employees which are very old and they have a lot of knowledge, which I think which is an asset for them. And I only inspired to do more, looking at them, looking at the craving that they have to serve the clients and to get more clients for them.
Right.
So that I can serve them, I can give them more salary, I can give them increment, and my company can grow.
True.
This is one of the things that
Great.
drives me to do this business.
Good. Thanks, Akash. And one last on an ending note. Since this channel was started basically so that we can address to the youth of India, right? So where we can discuss about different industries. So we have had podcasts in the past when related to politics, tech companies, photography, artists, right? So that is why even I invited you, since you are into import and exports.
Yes.
So to the trade of India, trading businesses of India. So I would like to you to address to our audiences, so that if at all somebody aspires to start or manufacturing, particularly for exports, or wants to enter this industry, what would be your guiding suggestions for them? What should they take care of, and how do they start? Some inspiration.
So as I said before, export, I feel that there is a lot of potential for export. For a newcomer, you have to, I would say that firstly you have to be well aware of the government policies, because that will be a savior for you in the future.
Okay.
Something that you would not be able to, if the government supports a lot, and in case if you are not be able to make a lot of profit, you can also consider this aspect where you can get some.
True.
In terms of subsidies, in the role of subsidies and everything you can get from the government, you can benefit a lot out of that.
Okay.
And other than that, the documentation or the legal procedure that you need to follow, that I've discussed before, you have to get the documentations right first before starting an export business, and then start your marketing activities. You can approach other, in case if you want to keep it lower on the budget, if you have a lesser budget, then you can get in touch with the export promotional councils or Chamber of Commerce to get the list of buyers. You can start contacting them. You can send your emailers to them. In case if you have a higher budget, you can visit the trade exhibitions, trade fairs there. You can also again go to the government back to get the expenditure that you do there reimbursed.
Right.
It takes a certain amount of time, but yes, it works.
Okay.
Other than that, I would say that a game changer for a newcomer would be having certain connections in the foreign country. If there is anyone you know there, or in case if there is anyone that you can rely on or trust there, it can actually be a very big game changer. I have examples of many other clients that we work with, who are doing business on the network basis, when they have good connections there in the foreign countries, and out of that connection, they were able to make n number of connections after that, and the business grew multifold.
Oh, nice.
So this is one of the advice that I would give you: do not go for a very strange market or a market that you don't have any knowledge of. Go for a market where you have a connection, or where you have a relative or a friend or someone you can trust on.
Okay.
And try to start from there.
Alright.
Obviously, you should also tap for a market potential there first. You should study the market there, how much demand and supply there is, and what is the competitive landscape there first. And in case if the government is supportive of that market, if there is a preferential agreement with India, of the foreign country that you are targeting on, you should study all of this. And then go for a country you should have all these things in a country, firstly. And then secondly, if there is an advantage there, if there is a relative there, or if there is a friend there you can trust on, that can be a game changer for you.
Okay.
That is something that I would
recommend to
the new young people who are trying to get into export and import. That can really be a game changer.
And if at all they get stuck, they can contact you.
Yes, please. If in case if there is anything that where you get stuck in export-import business, we have a staff which is 30-year-old there. We can help you out with everything when it comes to export and import.
Perfect. Thanks, Akash, for coming to this interview and helping me share this podcast, so that we can empower and actually enlighten the young bright minds, so that they understand that there are so many opportunities in this industry as well, which is actually unknown, because these things are actually not taught us in the school, right? These things are actually, we come across this very much later in the stage.
Yes.
But because of obviously with the emergence of social media, internet, there are a lot of things that people do get aware of. But obviously, if not, then again it's like a family to family knowledge has been shared. But when it
Yes.
comes to if we want to become a global leader as a nation, obviously our exports has to surpass our imports
Right.
and be a very trade oriented country, and for that we need a lot of manufacturing, lot of infrastructure in house in from India, right? So I believe this podcast will add value to our nation and to our audiences, so that they can generate some value out of this, and which would enlighten them to become the future prospects, right?
Even I think that firstly thank you for having me here, and I also hope that this video through this video we are able to reach more and more people, young people who would want to get into this business, and hopefully I would hope that in the future we are in trade surplus and not in trade
True.
deficit, and the
Right.
exports grow and grow in future.
True. On the same note, we would like to end this podcast, and we had a very great session with Akash. So stay tuned to our channel. You can subscribe to our channel if you like such resourceful content, and press that bell icon so that you get notified for all the future updates related to this video as well as all our videos in the future. So see you till the next time. This is Pratik. Inspire with me, Pratik Pai. Thank you.